long after, Ione became pregnant, and anticipation filled Kagiso's heart. He dreamed of finally having a son, but when the time came, she bore a daughter instead, whom they named Liana. Disappointment settled over Kagiso like a heavy cloud. He hoped for a boy, yet fate had given him another girl. Realizing that he could not fight destiny, he chose to abandon his longing for a male heir and devoted himself to his daughters instead. However, his love leaned heavily towards Thalia. He spent more time with her and Zoe, often neglecting Ione and Liana. As the years passed, Ione's heart darkened with jealousy. She longed for Kagiso's attention, not just for herself, but for her daughter as well. Watching him favor Thalia and Zoe filled her with resentment. She yearned to have him entirely to herself. Meanwhile, the two daughters grew into strikingly beautiful young women. But while Thalia remained humble and well-mannered, Liana became vain and arrogant. She saw herself as superior to the other maidens in the village, often refusing to greet the elders or acknowledge those beneath her. The elders whispered about her behavior, blaming her mother. "She is not truly one of us," they would say. "Her mother is from another land and she has taught her no respect." One fateful day, Thalia and Liana were sent on an errand to gather firewood. As they walked through the village, they encountered a group of elderly men who seemed lost. One of them called out, asking for directions to the king's palace. Thalia, ever kind and respectful, stopped immediately. She greeted them warmly and offered to guide them. But Liana, carrying her bundle of firewood, did not even glance back. She walked ahead as if she had not heard them, her head held high, her heart filled with pride. The elders watched her with knowing eyes, shaking their heads in disappointment. It was clear to them that while the two young women came from the same household, their hearts were worlds apart. Thalia walked the old men through the village until they arrived safely at the palace. Before they parted ways, they made sure to ask of her name and the family she came from. A few weeks later, a group of men arrived in Akosu to meet the king. They came with an important message. Their prince was searching for a bride, and they had found a maiden in Akosu who had left a lasting impression on them. She was none other than the kind-hearted Thalia, the young woman who had helped them when they were lost. Upon hearing this, the king ordered his guards to take the men to Thalia's home. When they arrived, they formally asked for her hand in marriage. Thalia, with the blessings of her parents, gave her consent. Kagiso and Zoe were overjoyed, knowing that their daughter was about to marry into a noble and wealthy family. The bride price was paid, and preparations for her departure began. But little did they know, Ione and her daughter Liana had other plans. The day finally arrived for Thalia to journey to her new home. The entire village was filled with excitement as the people gathered to celebrate her. Women danced, children sang, and the elders blessed her with prayers. When they reached the edge of the village, the well-wishers stopped, sending her off with warm words and hopes for a prosperous marriage. Now, only Thalia, Liana, and Maya, a young girl chosen to be her maiden in the palace, continued the journey. As they passed through a nearby village, something caught Liana's attention: the river bank. This was the village of her mother, Ione, and its waters were rumored to have an unseen connection to the cursed river of Akosu. Liana turned to Thalia and smiled. "Sister, you have been walking all day. Would you not want to freshen up before meeting your prince? You must look your best." Thalia hesitated. She remembered the legend of Akosu's river, the stories her parents had told her about the spirits that lurked beneath. Sensing her reluctance, Lyanna laughed. "This is not a Akosom's river, Talia. You have nothing to fear. The waters here are calm and pure. Just take a quick bath." What Talia didn't know was that Lyanna had inside knowledge. Her mother, Iyoni, had told her long ago that the rivers of their homeland and Akosu were secretly connected. This was the perfect place for her plan to unfold. Lyanna continued to tease her, urging her to step into the water.